At T-Mobile, our critical mission is providing unparalleled 5G coverage for when connectivity is mission critical. Introducing T-Priority, America's best 5G network experience for first responders, even in times of congestion. More capacity, faster speeds, better coverage. T-Priority from T-Mobile, built for tomorrow's emergencies, ready today. Discover more at t-priority.com.
For qualifying organizations on eligible rate plans, coverage not available in some areas and may be impacted by emergencies.
Hi, and welcome to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. My name is Bill Moore. I am a food truck business coach and author of Food Truck 101, Beginner to Winner. This podcast is all about helping you start and grow your food truck business. Today, I'm going to talk to you guys about 3 principles that every food truck owner needs to live by if you want to get out of being in a self-created job. And what I mean by a self-created job, just like when you work on an hourly basis, work for somebody else, and you get sick, you don't work, you don't get paid. Your food truck's the same way. You get sick, you don't work, you don't get paid. You've created your own job. And I talk about that frequently, about creating your own job and then not really liking your boss. So I want to talk about 3 principles to get you out of that self-created job. First principle is you must become a leader and cease being an employee. This takes a lot of internal change on your part because most food truck owners say, I am the best at, and then fill in the blank with whatever job you normally do on your food truck, and nobody can do it as good as me. What that really says is that you're a poor trainer and you can't teach someone because somebody should be able to duplicate what you do. Entrepreneurs know you live and die by your ability to prioritize. You have to focus on the most important mission critical tasks on your food truck every single day. Those mission critical tasks are not slicing tomatoes and chopping onions and cooking hamburger meat and creating a recipe for hot dog chili. That is not mission critical. That gets you through the day, that helps you to survive the day, but it doesn't grow your business. You're there to grow your business. You have to prioritize your day into business tasks have to come first. Allow your staff to do the prep. Allow your staff to do the cooking and the cashiering. And yes, I know it takes time for you to get to that point. But if you've been doing this any length of time and you're still the one that's cooking or you're still the one that's the cashier, you're not running a business. You're an employee. If your food truck's daily operation is dependent upon you being inside that truck, all you've done, again, is create a job for yourself. And I'm going to say this and stress this. You do not have a business. You have a job. A lot of food truck owners, they're showing up as a doer instead of being a leader. A lot of food truck owners are burning the candle at both ends. And I promise you, that's not the secret to success in a food truck. The secret to running a successful food truck is for the owner to hire a team, train the team, and then lead the team to success. All you're doing is burning yourself out, and then you're also most likely driving out what could be your potentially best employees. If you're tired of being a prisoner to your business and you're not making the money that you deserve, you've got to start leading your employees instead of you doing the job for them. And I know that's a tough thing to do. I can remember on one of my food trailers, I had somebody that was supposed to be in charge, and I had laid out for them very specific things for them to do. One of the days I showed up at the food truck, and he's over at a counter cutting tomatoes. And I came in and said, "What are you doing?" "I'm cutting tomatoes." And he had 2 other employees that said, "Why are you cutting tomatoes?" "Well, because I'm the fastest one." Those are not the tasks that are on your job to do. You're supposed to be doing your social marketing, your social media marketing. You're supposed to be doing other tasks that drive the business. This just drives the day. Cutting tomatoes, cooking hamburgers. You cannot do those things and expect to be successful. Principle number 2, you've got to learn to delegate. As an owner, you should have somebody in charge of the truck. You can call them whatever you want to, a manager, a leader, doesn't matter. But they have to have responsibilities that help drive that particular truck while you work on driving the business. If you're not delegating responsibilities to your trustworthy employees, you're leaving money on the table. You're going to increase your turnover because people want more responsibility. They want to feel like the job they do is valuable. Saying, hi, welcome to the food truck doesn't carry a whole lot of value. But if you also make that person your trainer or that person in charge of something to do on the food truck to where you're now not doing it, so you can do social media marketing, you can do real marketing, you can go attend meetings and do other things to help drive business to your food truck. If you're sitting back cutting tomatoes and being a cashier, you're not growing your business. And you really don't have a good quality of life, because I'm sure that when you go home at the end of the day, you're thinking about the order you got to place for tomorrow and what you got to do. And then if somebody's going to call off, what you're going to do on that particular circumstance. And you're figuring out where you're going to park and what you're going to do. When am I getting gas? You don't have a good quality of life. You've got to delegate certain responsibilities to your staff. That's why you hired them. You didn't hire them to be a cook and a cashier. You hired them to help you run the business. Principle number 3, and this one ties into the other two. You have to develop systems and let those systems lead your business and then also lead you. And what I mean by that is every single task on your food truck has to have a specific way that it's done, and that way is never deviated from. And you as the owner have to train that to the employees that you have. You take a task, let's say something super simple, sweeping the floor. As most of you guys know, I've been doing this a really, really long time, and I have had people that have come in to work for me, and I say, hey, can you sweep the floor? Go grab a broom that's over there and sweep the floor for me. And they have no clue how to sweep the floor. They're taking the typical broom that you have at home, and they will take that broom, act like it's a push broom, and try to push it across the floor. Now, hopefully you don't think that works, because it doesn't. Those type of brooms are not designed to be pushed. They're designed to be pulled. So I would have to train that employee. But if I had a system, I would show the employee where the broom was hanging up. I would show the employee how to sweep the floor, and I would have specific guidelines for sweeping the floor. One of the guidelines that we used to use was you're going to sweep the floor in a side motion going from left to right or right to left, whatever direction you want to go, and you're going to do it in a 4-foot square area. Then you're going to move to the next 4-foot square area until you've swept the entire floor. Then you're going to show where the dustpan is, where the dustpan should be located, how to handle the dustpan. Then you're going to show where the dustpan should be dumped, and then if the dustpan should be cleaned, at what point it should be cleaned and hung back up. The same with the broom, where it should be hung, where it should be at in any particular time of the day. You want to be that detailed with every single system. How to sweep the floor, how to do your food prep, how the onions are cut open, where food waste goes. You're going to be detailed. You're creating a system. A system means that it's going to be done the same way day in and day out, month after month, year after year. Those systems allow you to free yourself from the food truck. Those systems and then the checklist you create for those systems now become your voice when you're not on the food truck. So you have a system for sweeping the floor. You have a system for here's the prep work you have to do. Here's how you determine how many onions we're going to cut, how many tomatoes we're going to cut, how many hamburger patties we're going to patty, how much hot dogs we're going to cook for the day, how we're going to toast the bread. Every single product has a checklist. Every single task has a checklist. And you can make those checklists that they're signable. Just like you sign their paychecks. You're going to tell your employee, before you go home today, this checklist needs to be done. I want you to sign it and give it to me. And then when they sign it and give it to you, you say, hey, let's go check everything out. And this is your training opportunity. You can either pat them on the back for the job they've done well, or say, hey, you need to pay more attention to the corners over there because I see some dirt built up in that corner. Would you please take care of that? And then you're good to go. Checklists are not things to be pencil whipped. Checklists are things for you to follow up on people that have said the job is done, and then you're going to go prove it. I had checklists for everything. Hot dog cart, food truck, in the restaurant. Checklists for everything. I didn't want to leave anything to chance because, again, when I'm not there, the checklist is my voice. This is how Bill expects it to be done, and it needs to be done this way. If you sign your name to it saying it's done and it's not done, there will be lots of trouble the next time you come into work, and you will not like the trouble you're in. I expect honest people. If you sign something saying it's done and it's not done, that makes you dishonest. Now I can't trust you to count my food. I can't trust you to count my money. When you have standards, when you have checklists, and you inspect what you expect, people will do a better job. So those 3 principles are, again, you have to become a leader and cease being an employee. You have to learn to delegate, and you have to create systems and let the systems lead you and lead the food truck. This set of principles will take you from being an employee on your own food truck to being a business owner. And you'll be able to attend meetings while the food truck's in operation. You'll be able to go to the Chamber of Commerce and attend those meetings and those networking meetings and those breakfast meetings and those dinner meetings while your food truck's being operated. And then you can go back to the food truck by the end of the day or the end of the night and look at everything and go, ooh, job well done. But you can't get to that point until you follow those 3 principles. Thank you guys so much for listening to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. If you're finding all the information useful to your business, please become a monthly supporter of the podcast. Just hit the support button or follow the link in the description. Every little bit does help keep us going. If you like being around like-minded positive people, you will find no better place on Facebook than our group. It's called Food Truck Training. We got a whole bunch of awesome members at all different levels, from just starting beginners to decades-old veterans. They've all got your back when it comes to helping you and your food truck grow. And again, thank you so much for listening. Come back tomorrow because I got plenty more to say when it comes to helping you and your food truck business grow.